Msgr James Benavente has been vindicated. At a press conference today and in the presence of many of Msgr James's supporters, Archbishop Hon and Father Jeff St. Nicholas cleared him of any wrongdoing. Here's more. It's been 2 years since Archbishop Anthony Apparon fired Msgr James Benavente from the position of rector of the Cathedral Basilica and director of the Catholic cemeteries. At the time he was removed, Archbishop Apparon accused Msgr James of financial mismanagement. Archbishop Apparon never gave Msgr James, however, a chance to respond to the allegations. It wasn't until a few months ago that Msgr James finally got that due process, and now, 2 years later, and after a very public outcry over his removal, Msgr James has been vindicated. Father Jeff St. Nicholas read a statement written by Apostolic Administrator Archbishop Hon.
I hereby declare that Msgr Benavente's response is found both credible and satisfactory, and that none of these alleged major irregularities should be held valid. I thus declare that the decision of his removal be considered invalid, and any statement released from the Archdiocese against him or any of his staff in this matter ought to be considered invalid.
Thank you for your prayers. Thank you.
For the first time since he was removed 2 years earlier, Msgr James addressed the public.
Having been able to respond directly to these alleged financial irregularities, we now know today that truth and justice have once again prevailed.
At the time he was accused of mismanagement and fraud, Archbishop Apparon had noted that the finances of the Archdiocese were in such a mess that an audit was impossible. Thus, the report that was used to remove Msgr James was not an official audit. Some of the findings of that January 2014 report, put together by accounting firm Deloitte & Touche, were that the Catholic cemeteries incorrectly stated assets, including land they didn't own, then used those overstated assets to secure a loan. Missing documents related to $3.8 million in assets, and an increase in liability by $800,000, among other allegations. We asked Father Jeff what were the results of the recent report he conducted that finally cleared Msgr James of wrongdoing.
In terms of the details in the investigation, what I will say is that right from the beginning, unfortunately, the process was very askew in that so many things were published publicly about accusations against Msgr James, and that in itself was a violation of due process, that he never received that. That's enough publicity. It's already out there in the media. What we're trying to do is to move forward from those things that were stated and to clear him from those things.
Although he's been cleared and his good name now restored, Msgr James won't be returning to his previous positions of rector and director of the Catholic cemeteries.
Msgr James right now is the parochial vicar, or has been up until today, and effective today, the 30th, he is now named as pastor of St. Anthony's Church.
Asked what he would like to say to Archbishop Apparon, this is what Msgr James had to say.
I always pray for the Archbishop whenever I celebrate the Eucharist. I remember him in my intentions, and that's what I do. I've been doing that ever since, and there's no reason why for me to stop doing that.